Hey, what's going on, man? This is Dr. Roddy Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach. I like to talk with some of the athletes and coaches and parents who had an opportunity to compete at the Dallas Open and the Dallas Invitational this weekend, in what we call the President's Cup. Um, I have a situation where I have some competitors in my club who are having some moments of frustration, which happens in judo. And because I've done judo for a while and I've been coaching for a while, I know that there are some parents and coaches and athletes who are having some of these issues and hurdles too in their judo journey, is what we'll call it. Every level of judo has its own meta game to it, where there's certain things that work at one level don't work at another level. And there are moments where you get stuck. And at the junior level, you have a situation where everybody's bracketed by 2 years, every 2 years, 9 through 10, 11 through 12, 13 through 14, 15 through 16. And then you move into cadets and then juniors and then seniors. And every time you move up a level, the game changes, and then your game changes, and then you get taller when you're younger. And then the throws that you used to use don't work anymore. I've seen kids who are 8 and 9 and 10 years old use Uchimata, and then they find out that they stopped growing at 12, and the rest of the kids had growth spurts, and now they have to change from Uchimata to either a circular Uchimata, a Kenken Uchimata, or they have to start working on Iri Morote Seanagi, Sode, and different things. And your game will change. The other thing that happens is as you move up the ranks, as you move up in terms of age, the population pool separates. Unfortunately, the population pool stays the same in competition, meaning you have to make a decision once you hit 12, 13, and 14 years old if you want to pursue the Olympics or world championships or making a world team or becoming what we call a professional judo player. And if you just enjoy doing judo for fun, you're going to have to temper your expectations at tournaments when you are in the population pool of those individuals who want to do judo professionally. I think it's great to do judo for fun. I think it's great to go to the tournaments. I think it's great to have a good time. But you will soon find out when you run into the persons that practice judo 5 to 6 times a week and train twice a day at the minimum, those people are going to give you a beating of epic proportion. And it's not because they're better than you. It's just because they've made a different decision than you. I believe in having academic and athletic depth and breadth. I believe in doing multiple sports. I was a 3-sport athlete in college. I believe in doing wrestling. I believe in doing judo. I believe in doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I believe people should run cross country and do track. I believe in all these particular things. However, at every level of judo, there are different games and there are different goals. When you're 15 and 16, you are in the pool of people who are trying to make the cadet world championships. You may be just focusing on becoming a great athlete, which is good at that phase. When you get to the 17 to 20-year-old phase, you have people who are really focusing on, who focus on making the junior world team and moving themselves into that Olympic trajectory. And then when you hit the 18 and up phase, you have people who are working towards Olympics and the world championships and becoming professional judoka. And if you're not winning at the age of 10, 11, 12, and 13, it's okay. If you're not winning at 15 and 16 because your goal is not to go to the cadet worlds, it's okay. If you're not winning at 18, 19 because your goal is not to go to the junior worlds, it's okay. You can develop a bunch of different skills, and then when you're ready to make a decision, you can make a decision later if you'd like to go to the worlds or the Olympics or whatever, and then change your focus. Now, here's the thing that you can't do. You can't not practice anything. So if you want to practice different sports and become a great athlete, as I did, I'm not saying I was a great athlete. I mean, if you want to become a well-rounded athlete, I believe there were some hits and sprinkles of greatness in my athletic career, but I wasn't talking about myself as being a great athlete. What I'm talking about is I did multiple sports. And I told you I did 3 sports in college. I went to college on a football scholarship. I wrestled in college. I didn't wrestle in high school, and I ran track in college. Though that particular breadth of development, of athletic development, created the undergirding that allowed me to become an Olympian in the sport of judo. I did judo from a young age, and I stopped and I came back. I didn't win any cadet worlds, junior worlds. I never made a team. I only made one team in my career, and that's the Olympic team. There's people who have made multiple world teams and multiple Pan Am teams and multiple Pan American Games. I never made any of those teams. So there's a way to do athletic development. What I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to hammer home here is that I saw a lot of long faces and a lot of people that were upset, and they were crying, and they were hurt because they didn't win, or they weren't successful this year. And I saw the same thing at the US Open. What I want to let you all know is that everybody's goals are different. And if it's not your goal to make a junior world team or a cadet world team, don't get upset with the developmental program that you're on and the developmental program that your coach has you on. I can tell you right now, I start my kids out with Newaza early, which means they can do chokes and arm bars. Their games won't explode until they become cadets. When they click over into the cadets and they can start arm barring and choking, then the transitional skills that we learn from the Tachiwaza will then manifest themselves, and their games will get a lot better. I don't train them to be quality juniors. I train them to be quality seniors, because you'll be a senior longer than you're a junior. The flip side to that is I don't necessarily coach kids to win when they're young. Then I don't have a massive program for kids because I don't have all the medals to show. And I run a competitive club. If I ran a non-competitive club and I ran it in a different way, then I can build up with the kids in a different form or fashion in terms of marketing. This is It's a choice that I made or I make for my own personal dojo, and you have to understand what the flavor of your dojo is as well. What I want to say to the parents um, and the athletes is it's a similar message that's in the Bible. Do not get weary in your well doing, because your particular season will come. If you faint not. So you have to make sure that you stay steadfast and immovable when it comes to your training, when it comes to your development, when it comes to your strength conditioning, when it comes to your morning workouts. I know some of you all, well, kids don't work out in the morning. I have children in my program who get up in the morning and they do um, 100 or 200. I have somebody right now who's doing 275 kettlebell swings in the morning. Get up in the morning, hit your kettlebell swings, take a quick shower, and then head to school. If you start doing things like that, then your mornings have gone from 0% to 100% in terms of improvement, in terms of the work that's being done. I would highly recommend that you get with a strength and conditioning professional, or you can get with somebody like me. I'm more than happy to help you. I am a tutor of sorts. I've coached people who have different coaches and different clubs and different programs, and I'm more like a tutor or a mentor in that particular coaching space. But find somebody or a professional who can help you if you want to increase the amount of practices that you're doing during the week. And if you want to work on your athletic development and thus change your expectations when you go to a tournament. You can't go to practice 1, 2 times a week and believe that you're going to go out there when you get older at the age of 15, 16, 17, 18 and smoke people who are practicing 5 to 6 times a week. And that's just judo practice. You got to temper your expectations. That doesn't mean you can't go to practice and you can't have fun. That doesn't mean you might be in wrestling season right now. And that happens. I know that the kids at Cohen's Judo in Chicago, there's a time of the year where their results in judo, they're not as great as they could be because the kids are wrestling. But they know when they come back out of wrestling and they come back in the summer in the US Open, man, everything explodes because they have great athletic development. They have great conditioning. Their grappling IQ has gotten higher, and the kids stay 100% engaged, and they still go to judo and they still do judo, which is a key. A lot of people wrestle and they stop doing judo. Still go to judo practice once or twice a week. Don't abandon judo practice because you're wrestling. Your coach will understand 100%, especially if you're decent and you bring great skills to the wrestling program, or you just come after practice like some of my students do. But temper your expectations per your investment. If you've invested high on the judo side and you're not winning, man, break down and cry and have a conniption. But if you haven't done that, just temper your expectations a little bit and understand that at every level, the meta game changes. It just changes. And judo is a lot different than wrestling. I have not done wrestling at a high enough level to say which one is harder because I haven't done both. I've trained with elite level wrestlers. I was a Division I wrestler in college. Statistically and internationally, there's more people that do judo than wrestle at the Olympics and at the Olympic Games. The finality of judo is harsh. You make a mistake in judo, you're done. You make a mistake in wrestling, you can sometimes fight your way back. The two sports are very, very similar. I think they complement each other. I think they complement each other in terms of one's grappling IQ increasing. I highly encourage my high school athletes and sometimes my middle school athletes to wrestle, to do wrestling camps in the summer, but to keep judo as their base. And you can keep judo as your base and still wrestle and do more wrestling practice in a week, but just keep your judo base by going to judo once or twice a week. That's all I got. I just saw some people that were really hurt. I saw some parents that were disappointed. And all I can tell you is this: double down on your investment in your sport. And then when you double down on your investment, you can increase your expectation. But if you don't, then temper your expectations per the investment that you made. This is Dr. Roddy Ferguson. I also want to tell you I have some free things for you. And thank you so much for listening. If you're a grappler or a judo player and you want to increase your ability in Newaza, I'd ask you to go to www.newazaexcellence.com today and get my free Lasso Guard course and my free course that will develop your skills and drills in the Spider Guard and the Lasso Guard. They're two separate courses that are 100% absolutely free, and they're 100% for you. Just go to www.newazaexcellence.com. Take care. And remember, I love you, but God loves you best.